Well, it's MSI Day 5 with coverage brought to you by Alien, where I'm joined right now by HolyPhoenix to talk about his performance as team and his trip over the course of this event. So, HolyPhoenix, we were just chatting. This is not our first interview. We spoke in 2014 during Worlds, yes?
Yeah, we did.
Yes. You've been playing for quite some time. It's now 2021, which is a significant time. Before we get into the games, what has it been like for you being at this international event, especially after how long you've competed?
Mhm. Yeah. Last year we also won the winter split of the MSI, but sadly I couldn't go there in the last year. So it's been 6.5 years since my last international tournament, which is where you interviewed me, and it felt really good to be here. I think the ending didn't feel as good because I think this is like a failure for me. We could get out of groups. We had a really good chance and we couldn't do it. So still, this will just make me more ambitious for the next splits to come.
I mean, that's good to hear because there are people, many of whom were competing in 2014, who are no longer compete, and so I'm happy to hear that you are still invested. You've been getting a lot of Twitter praise over the course of this event. How do you think you personally have played at MSI 2021?
I'm not that kind of guy anymore that like promotes himself and getting satisfied with people saying you are good. I want actual like success. Like I can be getting penta every game and I still won't be happy. I think so. I don't really care how I performed. It's just how we played as a team that I only care about. So, uh, and I think we didn't play good. So I'm not really happy with
Yeah.
things like for me. Yeah.
Well, I've been asking a lot of the different teams from different leagues what they have thought of the format change. And obviously, I know you didn't get a chance to play last year or in previous MSIs, but what do you think of the changes that they've made to have sort of these major regions compete alongside the minor regions in what would previously have been a play-in situation?
I mean the like we won versus Mad Lions and we could won versus PSG. So I think format is okay, and I think same for the Brazil. They almost they they almost won Mad Lions maybe, and I think if people want minor regions don't want minor regions to play with the top teams, then top teams should just crash the minor teams in 20 minutes. And I don't think they are able to do that. And they lost versus us, the Mad Lions. So I think format is okay. Maybe like having more teams is more fun to watch, but I think for me personally, this was okay. Like,
Mhm. Now, over the years, I want to ask you because obviously you play in the Turkish league. There have been I've seen sort of many Turkish players leaving the region to go compete in other places. Obviously, now in North America, we have a couple. So what do you think about all this stuff? Is it something that you would ever consider later on in your career at some point in time going to compete in one of the other regions?
I mean, back in the day, I played in the championship series where you could get to European LCS, it was called, and almost like got there. And then I was going to, like, I probably would keep playing in the Europe, but it was some problems with the visa, some like working things because I was in Turkey, and I couldn't keep playing there in the Europe. When I played, it was online, so I could just play from the home. It was no problem, and then it was offline after, so I couldn't play. For now, I mean, I believe I can play in the top teams, really, like top regions, really easily, and I think, personally perform good, which I think I did in this tournament, maybe. But I don't really care. I mean, for 10 years I've been playing and I didn't get offers like last year. So I don't know. I don't really care. Like I don't work to play on Europe or NA. I just work to do my best and look for the future. And like esports is a job that you don't know what will happen next year, what will happen next split. So I don't really think about these things. I just work hard, grind hard, and do my best in every single match, and then see what the future brings me.
I mean, it's very, very good. I'm happy to hear that because Obviously, that allows you to focus on just being good and performing in whatever situation you are in. Uh, what do you think of the other teams that you've seen at this tournament? Do you think that there's been a lot of conversation about RNG and Damwon? Maybe they are just way beyond everybody else. I'm kind of curious if you have some predictions about who the good teams will be going into the Rumble stage.
I wanna say that like RNG gonna win the tournament. Like RNG, Dunbone, and like one of the teams that surprised me the most, I think the PSG. I think they play really well, and I think they are better than Mad Lions. Like in the macro way, actually, like they play the game by the book, which is really hard to do in this meta because it's more like a team fighting. You just skirmish a lot. It's hard not to skirmish and team fight without doing mistakes, and they just do it. Like, but Mad Lions, let's say they maybe have better mechanical players. They may be better like players, but as a team wise, they're like making so many mistakes. That's how we could win versus them, I think. And they should fix it. I think Mad Lions. Like I support them because there is like Armut in the top lane, the TCL guy, and I want them to go as far as possible. And I think Damwon is like their bot lane is not so good, and RNG kind of counters them. I think if there is like a match between them, the Gala, especially with Mink, is like godlike tier in my eyes. I have seen in this tournament, and the Damwon bot lane doesn't seem that strong. Like they're decent, but compared to RNG, there's like a class difference. I think so. I think RNG, Damwon, and maybe PSG, if like with the hype they play better, they could surprise all of us.
But you think RNG is going to win? They're your bet now.
Yeah, I think RNG gonna win.
So you talked about RNG, Damwon, PSG, Mad Lions. I noticed you didn't mention Cloud9, my region's team. Are you confident that at least tomorrow they'll make it into the Rumble stage?
I mean, I didn't say because I consider them as minor region also like us. So I don't know. I don't know if they can get out of groups. It's not for certain, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a chance, but if they do, I don't think they will do well. I think they don't play as a team. I think they only win if Perkz somehow just like crashes everyone and probably shot calls everything, and then that's when they win. But he won't be able to do that versus these teams, I think. So I want to say good luck to them. Like I really like I personally like Sven. Also, he was in the Europe. I really liked him, and Perkz also. I support them, of course, but sadly they are just not as good as these other teams, I think.
HolyPhoenix, I can tell earlier in the interview when you said that you don't focus at all on trying to get to other major regions. That clearly by this answer, you mean it.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I know, and I appreciate the candidness. I guess because we've talked about everybody else, why don't we ask, or we've talked about so many of these other teams, Oceania now getting into the Rumble stage. Any hopes for them at all? I mean, I don't know if they impressed you at all, or if you think maybe they just got in because they were missing Vietnam. I don't know.
I think they only got in because they missed Vietnam, and I don't know about the Russia how they performed that bet. I think the Russia should be much better as a region because the Australia didn't have a league this split. I think.
Right. Yeah.
They just had a one tournament which got qualified to this tournament, and I mean, still they tried some things against good teams also, like the Fiddlesticks angle, and I think the best thing. I mean, this meta is changing a lot, and right now I think the team synergy is really important, not the personal skill. And this Australian team seemed like a team, like real team. So I think this is how they got into the next stage, the Rumble stage. Otherwise, like the Unicorns of Love, I think they just have much better players normally. But the Australia played really good as a team since I don't know they look like friends and they seem really happy here actually, and they actually tried their best. They didn't think like, oh, we are like the wild card, we shouldn't like try some things. They played aggressive. They played as a team. So
well,
I say them good luck, but they won't be able to do much in Rumble stage 2, I think.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes. We're out of time, so why don't I ask you really quickly? Anything you want to say to the fans?
I mean, there is many sports to us no matter what. So I really thank them all for it. In the worldwide, now I can speak. I usually thank the Turkish fans. Now, if there's an international fan that is supporting us, please keep watching. The next Worlds we will go. We will just play better and makes all the TCL and all of you guys proud.
Thank you so much for the interview, HolyPhoenix. Great to talk to you all these years later.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I can talk
Thank you.
hopefully, I'll be able to talk to you more in the future. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things MSI right here on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching that interview. You know, May 11th is a crazy day. You look at the MSI schedule, you're like, there's so much going on that day. I can't believe it. It's going to be mind-blowing. No, it's actually not that crazy for MSI reasons. It's crazy because on May 11th, Alienware is announcing something really cool. So be sure to stay tuned to their social channels so that you find out what it is that they're announcing, because I can't tell you. I'm literally legally not allowed to tell you, so don't try to get me to tell you, because I cannot. Certainly not in an outro of an interview. Also, subscribe to the channel, please, because I lost some subscribers recently. And I lost a lot of self-respect, too.